Hello everybody, it's time once again for Kerbal Space Program with me, Kirk. Last time we did a rendezvous and docking with our space station, and I showed you guys a quick and easy way to do that. It turned out to be a fairly long episode, so I don't know whether I'll probably keep this one as is, but if you guys prefer to see sort of shorter episodes, I don't know, like 15 minutes, do go ahead and leave a comment in the comments box below. Meanwhile, let me show you guys what I did here. So I mentioned that this rover we're going to use this rover to get to other bodies in the Kerbal system. So I went ahead and launched a lander and a drive stage to take us there. I've commandeered most of the fuel from the space station. You can see it's pretty much gone. And what we need to do now is attach the rover to the lander. Now, for the landing, the rover is going to be attached on this port here, but for the injection burn and transfer, it's going to be attached on top. Now, this is because I don't want to break these struts here, because they allow me to thrust the engine at a higher power without the thing wobbling all over the place. So I'm going to leave those on there. Now, I also mentioned that this rover is actually not that well balanced. The RCS is basically meant for speeding it up when it's on the ground, so I didn't account for having to dock it to other things. Even docking it to this node here was quite a challenge in itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect it from the station. Actually, why don't I do that right now? I think Jeb's piloting it. Yep. So let's go ahead and disconnect it from the station. Oops. Okay, so we're disconnected. And we're now in control of the rover itself. Now, just want to back it up a little bit. What I'm going to do is just let it drift for a little bit. Okay, that should do it. Now I want to make sure that it's not spinning. Okay, and it's not. And what we'll do is we'll bring the ship over to it. Whoops. Okay there. In fact, why don't I go ahead and actually orientate this docking port north. So we're going to control from here. And we're going to point north. Turn on RCS. Okay, so I'm going north. Let's put the simulation on rails for a little bit to compensate for the lack of SAS on here. And let's go ahead and undock this ship. Okay, turn on RCS and back it up. And while we're here, I'm also going to set this node as our target. So that way we know exactly where we stand. now that we're backed up, we are going to point the ship south and control from here because this has torque and this probe does not. Okay, so the 180 mark is the southerly direction. Okay. Let's apply the same principle here. So we're going to point up. And just put this in just for time. Okay, now let's back this up. Using the translation controls. Yeah, I guess you can say above. Rover is a little bit far away from us, so we're going to use chase cam here to move us closer. So we want to go this way. Stop the water there. Okay, we're actually drifting farther apart. Okay, change of plans. Point straight at it. Just keep an eye on our CS here. It should be plenty. Just go for it. Okay, I'm leaving it there because I don't want to actually hit it. I want to get in close to it. And let's have a look here. Okay, so we should be able to get within 100 meters quite easily here. Okay, and remember, the Rover actually has a docking light on it. Okay, so let's clampatron. Wait, what? Can't see anything, it's so small. Okay, set that as our target, and we've managed to miss it there by quite a little bit. So once again, come to a halt. And point ourselves so that we can get a little bit of distance from it again, so that we don't come in at such a weird angle. Alright, so docking can be difficult, but if you know what you're doing, you know the basic principles, it's really quite an enjoyable affair, if a little bit tedious at times. Actually, I may cut a lot of this out. Okay, so we're pointed straight at it now. second is good enough. It's actually higher than I would like as a speed. That's good enough. We'll work with that. Can you just line there? And turn on fine controls, because from here on in will only be pointed in this direction. Again, we're going a little bit fast, but I don't mind it that much. I think we've been at this long enough that the Rover actually ran out of power there, so the light isn't on. So we're going to be doing this blind again. Okay, we're lined up. It's still closing. Yeah, that light isn't on. Oh yeah, it's just not. Yeah, it's not on. It's just showing that it's there. Okay. I need to adjust. Also slow down. Okay, see the light? Okay. Here we go. It's wobbling. It's wobbling. Okay, so we're docked, which is great. So now what we want to do is get Jeb into the lander can there. But why don't I go ahead and speed this up so we can do it in the daylight. Also, coincidentally, is going to help us for we'll be closer to the position that we need for the Munar insertion burn there. Okay, so Jeb is having a ball, but we're going to have to EVA him so he can get in the can, which coincidentally is just up here. Okay, and grab that and board it. Okay, so now we're safely inside the lander capsule. So our next order of business is setting up the maneuver for the Munar insertion burn. Now you generally want to do this at moonrise, so you want to start burning when you start seeing the moon coming up over the horizon. So to set up the maneuver, what I do is I just line up the moon with the horizon, and then where that line intersects our orbit, I use click and set up a maneuver there, and it usually works. So, but because I have a satellite there, it wants to select that instead. So okay, let's do this another way. I'm going to turn on the SAS, and what that does is it makes my orbit flip out. So it makes it easier to click on. So it makes it easier to click on. There we go. Okay, so now I can just drag this around, but it's pretty much... Okay, maybe I need to move it a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty much there. So this will be a prograde burn, so we're going to pull on the prograde marker, and there you go. We already got a movement counter. Now I want to make this fairly low periapsis, but not too low. Maybe around 100. Okay, that should do it. Okay, so this maneuver will be close to my prograde marker. So in order to determine which way I need to spin on my nav ball, I just need to remember that I'm pointed, so my direction of travel is easterly. So it will be close to the 90-degree marker because I'm fairly close to this spot. So my current prograde won't be far from this prograde on the nav ball. So let's go ahead and spin this around. And there it is. It's pretty close. Okay, let's lock that into the SAS. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to turn off these engines. We won't be needing them for the transfer. The mainsail should be more than enough. And now it's just 2 minutes to the actual transfer burn. So, see, I made a mistake here because I made the assumption that prograde here means actual prograde, but as you can see, I'm traveling in that direction, and the marker is telling me to point this way, which puts my engine facing my direction of travel, which means I'm not actually pointed close to prograde. I'm actually pointed closer to retrograde. So that means that something iffy is going on. So if you see, if I control from here, I'm not actually pointed prograde. So what I'm going to do is turn RCS back on and just spin myself around. But to be really careful about these things, because if you have a lot of capsules oriented or probes oriented in weird directions on your ship, it can really throw you off. So before I make a mistake, I'm going to go ahead and correct this and point myself in the correct alignment. So there we go. Now this is 800 delta V, 858, so it should be around a 20-second burn, maybe. So I'm going to burn at about 10 seconds before the marker. Just try to get there quicker. And stop. Okay. Turn the other one. Maybe. Station. I'll be back. Okay, so maybe this is a little longer burn than I anticipated in the Arizona. Okay, so let's see what we got. Okay, maybe we need to burn a little bit more. Okay, now stop. So let's get rid of the node there. You can see what's going on. Okay, so that's not entirely as we planned it, but it'll work. We can work around that. We're gonna do a figure 8 around the moon here, and I think we're going to end up in a retrograde orbit. Yeah, why don't we burn a little bit more, because I want to I don't actually want a retrograde orbit. Burn it a little bit more. Okay, so no matter what we do, we end up in a retrograde orbit. Okay, now it'll just put us on escape, so we don't want that. So what we're going to do is slow down. We have plenty of fuel, so I'm going to slow down to the point where our orbit is not going to be retrograde, because if I come in this way, I'm going to have to slow down the periapse and we're going to start spinning that way. That's not what we want. We want to go prograde.